asking questions are a salesperson's best friend. If you see the really, really good sellers, they're out there, they're not the ones that just are talking. They're the ones that ask questions and listen. They listen, they steer the conversation really smartly in a way that serves them, but it's all around questions. So at this point in any cold prospect call, you may feel a little bit uncomfortable to ask too many really, really direct questions. Things like, who owns the P&L, who's got the money? Because really you want to know, have they got money for your product? Are they the decision maker? They're the ones that are going to sign a check. I mean, that's really one of the burning questions, but of course you can't really ask that to start with. So what I'm suggesting here is 3 different layers of questions. The first layer is their current state of play. So these questions on page 9 are all about what and how they are set up in their business for your product or service. Understanding what they currently have, what it looks like, who services them, if anyone does, and just kind of build on that kind of understanding. The quality of your questions now will dictate the quality of your sale or meeting or any follow-up later. And I think sometimes you do only get one shot at getting some of this information. So I think getting the current state of play early on is important. The second layer of questions on a cold prospect call is really understanding their pain points. And you can position this, very humbly and say, we all have things that we'd like more of, like time and productivity. What are your pain points when it comes to learning and development for your sales team? What are the pain points when it comes to driving increased revenue? People love talking about problems they're trying to solve. You're not being personal enough to ask them, questions around their low performers or how they're having trouble hiring or their high attrition rate or their terrible product in the market. You're actually just having a sensible conversation. All of us want to save time, save money, or increase our revenue. Of course, we want a lot of other things, but they are 3 very easy places to start that certainly aren't as personal as you may think they are. With the second layer of questioning, what's their pain points, what you're also trying to do is you're trying to work out if your product or service fill those pain points. There is nothing wrong at that point in thinking, geez, it's just not a good fit. You're talking about all of the stuff that's probably wrong with our product as well. They've got no money for training or mentoring, and their pain point at the moment is they've got no money. Well, I don't want to start trying to spruik a product which I'm going to charge a service for. At that point, it might be that I stop the conversation and say that this may not be a fit. The information at this point can be used throughout the whole sales process, and that sales process could be 2 minutes, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a couple of years. So getting that documented, that second layer of questioning is going to be really up there in terms of importance. Identifying and honing the problem is the third layer questioning that not many people get to, because it can feel personal, especially when you perhaps don't know these individuals. Some people are more private than others, but I think it's worth trying. Starting with questions like, so what's the process now, and how is that serving you? How has that changed? How is that tracked? In an ideal world, if money was unlimited, how would you spend your money to develop your sales individuals? What are they good at? What aren't they good at? Things that feel quite personal can be really valuable at this stage to talk about. And I know some people won't feel comfortable with asking those questions, but if you don't ask those questions, you don't know whether they're going to answer them. So I don't want you to put your own lens on this. Try the 3 layers of questions. If you never get past the first layer, and you never get to the second, you're never going to really, really see how much information you can get on that cold prospect. Can you imagine how much time you will save yourself on dealing with time wasters, people that are never going to be able to afford your product or actually don't need it? If you can get that meat out of the front of the conversation and really qualify that client at this point, you just save yourself buckets of time.